Good morning. Good morning, beautiful hearts. It's Katerina Satori. I just decided to hop on for literally a few minutes and to share a few encouraging words with everyone who is going through an inner rebirth. And those are the beautiful cycles of nature and the cycles of life. Right, darlings? And I've been through so many of those. Kind of like collected so many tools, the inner tools and the outer tools. And the very first insight that I wanted to share with everybody who is going through a turbulent inner rebirth. It can be very disorienting if it's your first time. I lovingly call it the void, where your previous structures begin to dissolve and you are facing this abyss of unknown. And that abyss can feel very frightening and disorienting. And what helps me always remember when I am being asked by Spirit to go into another cycle of rebirth is that that abyss is pregnant with possibilities. Pregnant with possibilities. And what always helps me is the gentleness. Gently walking into the rebirth. Hi, Luba, darling. Hi, honey. So good to see you. Yeah, I've been more quiet on Facebook lately, and I've missed you all so much. Mostly focusing on supporting my clients to go through their evolution and their rebirth. And I'm also leading a program right now, Goddess Awakening. We are in the class 3. But you are always in my heart, my beloved community. And whether you are a seasoned rebirther, you're like, I eat death and rebirth for breakfast, baby. I've been through many cycles of this, right? Or whether it's your first one, the one that really shook your foundations. The quality of inner stance that always supports me is gentleness, when I don't have clarity about the steps forward, I remind myself to trust that this lack of clarity is asking me to be patient and to deepen my intimacy with my soul and to allow the clarity to arrive on its own time, in its own way. So gentleness with yourself and taking really good care of yourself. Like, this practice of self-nurturing. And sometimes it's the most difficult thing to offer to yourself. You can be so nurturing to others, your children, your partner, your community, your clients, your students. But to offer that gentleness and that love towards yourself, towards your inner being, can be a real achievement, I would say. So sometimes I visualize my inner being as an infant, and when you're going through a rebirth, you're literally allowing this new version of you to emerge. And that new version of you will feel vulnerable, will feel at times uncertain, right? So offering that gentleness. I like this exercise where you go into meditative space in your inner being and you find all the love in your body that you feel for the person that you love the most. You locate it in your heart and then you turn it around towards yourself and you nourish your heart, you nourish your soul. And the more unknown is your reality, the deeper you can lean into that practice. And from that place of nourishment, your clarity arises. From that place of nourishment, solutions come, right? So I would say the most ineffective approach is to become really hard on yourself and really impatient with your lack of clarity, or how deep is this rebirth happening, or how disorienting it is. And what I can share with you, my loves, is that every rebirth is, if you think about a birth of a baby, right? It's turbulent, it's messy, nobody knows what's going to happen next moment. So your consciousness is going through a similar process when an old part of you must dissolve and this new wobbly version of you comes out, right? And I love learning from nature, because entire nature is built on these 4 cycles: birth, growth, decline or death, and rebirth. And the deeper you are doing your inner work, the more your soul will trust you with these rebirth cycles, because you are growing in your spiritual maturity. You're growing in your capacity to receive these powerful initiations of consciousness. And I love this word initiation. It means entering into new, entering into a new way of seeing life, entering into a new relationship with change. Change is a beloved companion in my life. It used to be something that I resisted secretly, because like a normal human being, I love a certain level of certainty, right? And certain level of familiarity. But our growth, our true growth, happens when the winds of change come. And when life itself, the intelligence of life, is asking us to step into a new way of being, into a new way of living, into a new way of serving others, right? So beloveds, if you are going through that process of rebirth, gently walk into that portal. And whatever is arising, it is useful for your growth. Hold that truth steady in your heart, and lean into your spiritual practices, which is a true anchor. I always say, if your roots are strong, there is no need to fear the wind. And our root system is our daily spiritual practice, whatever that means for you. Simply talking to your heart, checking in with your heart, and say, how you doing, my beautiful, brave heart? How you feeling today, right? And every time you do that, you are creating that link with this great wisdom that is so eternal, that is passing through all these incarnations of yours. And another aspect of that is to begin to talk to the universe, right? There's such a power in prayer. Prayer, in my understanding, helps you build intimacy with your soul. And I remember years ago, I began talking to the universe, to this quantum reality, as it's my friend. And then eventually that intimacy with the universe transformed into this experience that the universe is my beloved, and the universe is my creative partner. So every day I talk to the universe and I listen deeply and I ask for guidance, and your life begins to open up to you. You begin to unlock the magical quality of this universe, right? And then you begin to recognize the signs and the omens and the people and the helpers and the guides showing up in your path. And you don't feel like a lone orphaned, right? Being kind of flowing through this cosmos. You begin to see, wow, I'm supported by this web of intelligence, and it's guiding me. And the resources show up, and inspiration shows up, and creativity gets opened up for me. And you begin to find deeper and deeper proof that you're always supported in the most surprising and incredible ways. But it all begins with gentleness, right? And noticing when you, if you notice that inner harshness that arises, impatience, that you should have been further along by now, you should have been more prepared, you should have been more, I don't know, equipped. Just notice that and say, you know what? I see you, and I choose to remember that I am loved and I am exactly where I get to be, to grow into my next level of power, into my next level of wisdom, into my next level of compassion towards myself. Right, loves? So that's what I wanted to share with you. You are so loved. You are so taken care of. And the level of uncertainty you're experiencing in your life is the precise amount of uncertainty you require to fuel that next leap into your expansion. So trust the unknown. Unknown is pregnant with possibilities. And if you open your heart to it, it begins to open those possibilities to you. I hope this nourished your heart. I look a little sleepy. And I'm gonna go and serve my client. Darlings, I have a gift for you. I wanted to share with you one of my courses that I taught 5 years ago. So it's a little older work. It's older work, but it's very, very potent. And it's on my website. So after I come back home, I drop a link after this video and you can access it for free. And it's really going to support you to clear a lot of energetic sludge, you know? And it's a deep work. There's 5 sessions. Just go through it at your pace. And this would really opened up huge, huge possibilities for me and new horizons when I start doing frequency work and letting go of all these belief systems that I must struggle through life. I must do everything by myself, you know? That life is deeply insecure. Those are just old beliefs that were given to us through the DNA of our parents. And if you look at your parents, if they had very unstable lives and lots of difficulties, you can count that programming, you know, got transferred to you. And maybe you're the first pioneer in your lineage who is aware enough and sovereign enough to do this deep work. So honor yourself for the level of awareness you already cultivated, you already developed, and gently walk into the unknown. If you're working with the Gene Keys, my loves, Gene Key 48 is such a rock for me, and it's a shadow of inadequacy, the gift of resourcefulness, and the city of wisdom. And wisdom is the mother of unknown. So the more you trust the unknown, the deeper you're gonna grow in your wisdom. And wisdom is timeless. Wisdom is really the true wealth, right? Because wisdom begins to guide you as a living field of intelligence. So that's what I wanted to share with you. And I'll drop the link for the course. You can sign up. It's free. And may it be a blessing for your heart. I love you. And remember, your inner being requires nourishment every day. So begin to talk to it, and then begin to talk to your greater body, which is a quantum reality that surrounds you. I love you. Thank you.